president in an election that was adjudged free and fair. But those of us who were in the student movement in those days, we did not even participate in the election because we knew the military under Babangida had no intention of handing over power to anybody. But the moment they annulled the election, we took a position to defend democracy because we wanted to drive the military out of power. Abiola's house is less than 1 kilometer from here. In those days, that is where we used to sleep and wake up until we drove the military out of power. But sadly today, those people who were against democracy, who were against June 12th, are the ones in power in Nigeria. Well, maybe the man who rigged himself into office now will say he fought for democracy. But the conversation is not about what he did and what he didn't do for today. Because most of them who claimed they were fighting for democracy actually ran away from the fight. We were the ones, as young people, who stood behind and fought the military until the military left power. Babangida dared us, and we kicked him out of power. But 30 years later, you cannot say today that we have democracy. What we have now, nobody can define it as democracy. What we have now is sorrowcracy. That is government of sorrow for people who are always cheated out of their dividends of democracy. Tinubu came, he hasn't even lasted 2 weeks. Two things were of concern to him: how to punish the poor. And who are the poor? The same people who had always been cheated out of the Commonwealth of Nigeria. They removed fuel subsidy. I had the audacity to say this morning, I've not listened to his speech, that our people have been asked again to make some little sacrifices. I mean, how many sacrifices do you want from us? Especially when his friends, the rich, are getting richer on a daily basis, and the poor are getting poorer on a daily basis. That is no more sacrifice that our people can offer. But the reason why they did that was because they don't want you to enjoy any democracy. As far as they are concerned, the only democracy that is acceptable to them is democracy that puts them permanently in power. And that is why today when I woke up, I didn't feel good, because I looked at it and said to myself, the people who are going to Abiola's house today, as usual, are the people who fought against democracy, or those who did not fight any fight for any kind of democracy, but they want to benefit from it. I heard that Omoyele Sowore is going to lead a march to Abiola's house today. I was a student in this country, and I think Sowore is about my age. I never heard that Sowore participated in any protest during the June 12th era. I doubt it. But all of them, as the opportunists that they are, that's why I woke up this morning and called them. Today is the National Day for Opportunists in Nigeria, NOD. And they are all going to head to Abiola's house. I would have loved us to even take a walk to the place. But that's up to you, the organizers. The second thing Tinubu did was to talk about how to fight to restore oil exploration in Niger Delta region. Because those are the only things that concerns them. Nobody is talking about how to end Boko Haram. He's not talking about how to end banditry. It is how to export the Lagos model of democracy to Abuja and nationalize it, which is this agberocracy that they do in Lagos. So I want to say this to so many of you, because I've been hearing this from the grapevine, that Yoruba people are saying, this is our turn, whether he rigged the election or not. Since your people have been doing democracy of the warped type, Yoruba land has never progressed. Yoruba can only progress when you have the right people in power. And that is why the last time anybody had it right here was when Awolowo was in power. And it was because he had a great character, not because he was able to bulldoze his way. And after Awolowo was bulldozed out of office, those who did it have not had peace till today in Nigeria. So as you know, anybody can say that it is because Sowore contested and lost the election in 2023. I did not lose election in 2023 because there was no election in 2023. You are hearing it from me. What they did was selection. That is why when they were about to allocate numbers as usual, one of the most important numbers to allocate was Sowore's numbers. Give him small numbers so that people can mock him. But since they ended the election, the person who claimed to have won the election cannot jubilate. Since they ended the election, they are not worried about 17 other candidates in the election. They are worried about AAC because they know that we are a revolutionary party. And in 2019, when we were rigged out of the election or not allowed to participate in the election, when they refused to organize a free and fair election, they know the consequences of revolution now. Today, what we predicted in 2019 has come to pass. That no judge in this country can try a revolutionary. They arrested me. They took me to court. The judge that was to handle my case first time, after a while, she declined the case. They took it to another judge. The judge declined the case. They have gone to the third judge. The judge refused to give a date till today. And the people who arrested me in 2019, as the Yorubas will say, tí ọdún eégún bá tán àti alátọ́ àtọ́kò àtẹnigbégbò gbogbo à ń padà lọ síbi tí àti ń ràkàrà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, àtèmi àti Buhari ń sìn ibi kan náà láti ń ràkàrà o. Èmi àti Malami ń sìn ibi kan náà láti ń jàkàrà o. Èmi àti Emekele òun ò tẹ̀ wá lè jàkàrà mọ́ sìn. Yàrá tì wọ́n ti gba kàrà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, wọ́n ti fún lẹ́wà. Yàrá tí mo sùn ní DSS ní 2019, ibẹ̀ ni Emefele náà sùn sí. But let me tell you something. When I was arrested in 2019, it was Emefele that arranged for the judge, for the police, and everything to keep me detained. I'm revealing it to you today. He paid everybody. When I was released, he had the audacity to send a guy to me that he was the one who was teaching me a lesson. I told him that the lessons will go around. Shebi, you are teaching me a lesson. I'm not the one teaching him a lesson. But the lesson is not the kind of lesson we should mock anybody about. Because until Buhari is arrested, until Malami is arrested, until everybody in their cabal, Tunde Sabiu, that Richard card seller, who is Buhari's private secretary, until all of them are arrested, this one is a joke. After a while now, they will release Emefele. Emefele might even be contesting for governor of Delta State in another 2 years or 3 years. That's Nigeria for you. But the Nigeria that we want to bring about is not the Nigeria that is a joke of today. Because people have asked me, don't you see that Tinubu is trying? In 11 days, he has already met with traditional rulers. He has met with this person. I said, is meeting with traditional ruler governance? Is removal of petroleum subsidy governance? Is reading a national speech governance? And if you know Nigeria, everybody that has come to be Nigeria president, anytime they come new, they're always trying to fool people. And please don't be fooled. You are still dealing with the same people. And don't let it take too long before you realize that this is another scam. Because another challenge you, another challenge you. Another challenge you, another challenge. Thank you very much. AC. I want to turn to our women, those who are here and those who are watching us online. What I've said in Yoruba language is that women should stop behaving as if they are inferior to men. That is my position. And I want to use this opportunity to greet my wife, who is a woman that is stronger than a man. Yes. Don't cede your position to men. You are not inferior to men. You have allowed men to ride roughshod over you for too long. Nigerian women. If the world is devoid of women, men will die of hunger. That's the truth. A lot of us, men, cannot turn on stove. We don't know where to turn on stove. A lot of men don't even know how to grind pepper, either the traditional way or the modern way. A lot of men cannot turn on a blender. That is the truth. And honestly, men has governed Nigeria for 60 years. Look at Nigeria. Let's try women. Let them govern too for another 60 years and compare and contrast who will do it better. But I can guarantee you, people say, oh, you are supporting Tinubu. Never. I can never support Tinubu. But you cannot tell me that somebody who has never supported democracy has a moral right to be telling me how to do democracy. That was my simple position. So please, today is your day. But also, as women, stop accepting certain days as your day. Every day should be your day. Because you have the same amount of rights as men do, naturally. You have the same amount of rights as men do. Even in our constitution, there's nothing that says a woman cannot become president, or they cannot become governor, or they are only used or useful for deputy governor. And lastly, I wanted to say in English also that women are lasting longer than men, at least in Nigeria. My father died 15 years ago. If I ask all the men in this house and women to tell us whose parents are still alive, most of you still have your mothers intact. Our men have died. Nigeria killed them, no doubt. The truth is that the population of women is higher than the population of men. So, women, you might as well take over the country since you are living longer than men. This might sound like a joke, but it isn't. If it is clear that something is prolonging your life, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's water you are drinking, or the fact that you work harder than men and you exercise better than us, because exercise is not about running on the street alone. It's about getting active, longer than everybody. And it's been said that for every 1 hour you exercise anyway, you live 3 hours longer. But men, as you know, we already assume that it's our word, so we don't have to do anything to live longer in it. So if it is your word, you better make it a better place. Take over the country. Make it better. As I said, men have ruled Nigeria for 60 years. Let's try women for the next 60 years and compare and contrast. Thank you very much. AAC, take it back. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.